Dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I would like to just discuss the science of the hour because we have too many arguments regarding the how many years left for the life on earth. There are many opinions there. All those opinions they going around one specific hadith, which is a hadith, authentic hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أوتي أهل التوراة إنما بقاؤكم في من سلف في إنما بقاؤكم فيما سلف قبلكم من الأمم كما بين صلاة العصر إلى غروب الشمس. أوتي أهل التوراة فعملوا إلى صلاة الظهر، وأوتي أهل الإنجيل فعملوا إلى صلاة العصر، وأوتينا القرآن فعملنا إلى غروب الشمس. This is the hadith, which is authentic hadith, is saying that the people of Tawrat, they were given the time to work up to Salat al-Dhuhr. Then they worn out, and then the Christians, so people of gospel, they were given time to work, and they worked until Asr time. Then they got the reward, and the worn out. Then we've been given Quran, and we work it from Asr, of course, until the sunset. This hadith, some of them they understand that is dividing the time, that half day means the length of or the period of time given to the Jewish, and the rest is shared between the Muslims and the Muslims and the Christians. Actually, if we look at that, is not half of it, and we can create some sort of equation. The equation here won't be possible in regard to the time, because for the first thing is the length known for the Jewish is about 1,500 years only, and we can't make half of it. This half is equal to 1,444 plus the time of Christians, because it makes it impossible. At the same time, the scholars of the hadith said that between Dhuhr and Asr is longer than between Asr and Maghrib. So we won't apply to this as and consider it as an equation to consider half of the time for the Jewish and the rest shared between Muslims and the Christians, because the time of Christians, as stated in one hadith of Salman al-Farisi, is not elevated to the Prophet ﷺ, but is just his word is 600 years. So 600 plus 1,444 makes it 2,000 something, which is more than the length that we mentioned, 1,500 or 1,200 something. So won't be possible to consider exactly this calculation. Apart from that, there are some other hadith which says that there will be someone who seek refuge from Allah, from at the house of Allah, Al-Kaaba. Then he's not given, will not be given a victory. Then another person does the same thing, and he will be given what we call victory. So the victory here in another narration, وَعْقِدْ عَقْدَيْنِ أَوْ ثَلَاثًا, means this hadith was applied to Juhayman in 1979 when they tried to claim the Mahdi has come, etc. And of course, if we apply the hadith to this incident, the hadith is saying burha, ثم يمكث الناس burha. Burha is not a really specified period of time. It's just some of them, I don't know, consider it as more than 40 or 50 years or something. In another narration in the hadith, it's mentioning also the same things, but they said وَعْقِدْ عَقْدَيْنِ أَوْ ثَلَاثَ, and consider 2 or 3 generations. This 2 or 3 generations, if we look at it, has almost expired. But how many? Because usually we consider one generation for 10 years. So from this perspective, we understand that the hour is very close. Is very close. Those who deny this hadith and they completely ignore it and say it's hadith daif, we won't rely on it. At the same time, they don't say, oh, the sa'a is very far, then we shouldn't expect it now. Because of the Prophet ﷺ has stated that the sa'a is very close. No one knows about it, but we may need to look at few things as well, which is what is the opinions and evidences of the people of the book. Even we don't consider their words as something to rely on, but at the same time, Prophet ﷺ said, لا تصدقوا أهل الكتاب ولا تكذبوهم. Do not consider what the people of the book say as true, authentic things, and at the same time, لا تكذبوهم, do not belie them. So in this occasion, themselves, the Jewish and Christian, in their books, their narrations, interpretations, etc., they consider the hour is very close. It happened already according to their calculations. At the same time, we need to look at the universe, the changing in the universe, the changing on Earth, how it becomes, a lot of problems, flooding, climate changing, etc. A lot of problems on Earth, which means there are signs of the end of life on Earth, because the early point, which accept the human being for our knowledge and what we were given as knowledge, is just this point of the Earth. So from these perspectives, we understand we are very close. So one person came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said to him, "O Prophet ﷺ, when the hour is due?" He ﷺ ignored the direct answer, and he said to him, what have you prepared for it? Which means, when we talk about the size of hour, we need to remind ourselves about one thing, which is number one, the repentance to Allah at every time, because the door of repentance may be closed if if the sun comes from the west, and at the same time for some good deeds like such as have donations, because by the end of times the person before Mahdi, he can donate, but when the Mahdi has come, there are a lot of goodness. People don't need your support, people don't need your donation. So this is what we can benefit, inshallah, from the issue of knowing what's going on about the science of hours. Some shuyukh, however, they always say, oh, this year to 2020 there will be something great thing happening to 2021, 2022. All these things are, doubtful things. No one can really no one can confirm except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his unseen. So we need to be vigilant. We need to be careful, especially when it comes to identify the number of years left on this earth. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. السلام عليكم.